is the month of June, so you know what that means. It is time to do some extremely gay things in The Sims 4. It is no secret that I, Solita Sims, love women. That I think they're beautiful, that I think they're stunning, that I adore them, that I want better for them, that I routinely get canceled online by men for saying some very feminist things. It is no surprise that I love being a part of the LGBTQ community at all, because I tend to make most of my Sims either LGBTQ or in LGBTQ relationships. And honestly, this is all thanks to the Sims franchise. The Sims franchise, especially The Sims 4, gets a lot of slack from Simmers, and so does EA as a whole. But I think the one thing most of us can agree on is The Sims 4 is a very inclusive game. And this inclusivity stems back to the original Sims games. I'm talking The Sims 1, honey, that came out in the year of 2000. And over the years, The Sims 4 has introduced many new updates to bring even more inclusivity into the game. Like in 2022, for example, around the same time that the High School Years expansion pack was released, The Sims 4 completely changed the game when it came to romantic attraction and sexual attraction, introducing asexual and aromantic parameters into the game. Or in 2023 with the release of the Growing Together expansion pack and the introduction of the Michelson family. Celeste Michelson, the matriarch of the family, happens to be a transgender woman, the first ever transgender townie introduced to the game. My point being that the Sims franchise has done a pretty good job at adding inclusivity into their game, especially around the LGBTQ community. But of course, there is a lot of improvements that can be made. Until we have those improvements implemented into the game, however, there is a Sims 4 mod by a great modder named Lumpinou to help us out in the meantime. In honor of Pride Month, let me introduce you to Lumpinou's LGBT mod for The Sims 4. The LGBTQ mod by Lumpinou adds so much to The Sims 4. It's basically an entire gender and orientation overhaul mod. I'm talking gender identity, gender affirmation and transition, split orientation, self-discovery, coming out, lot traits, auto-assigning, and so much more. So why use this mod? Well, this mod frees your Sims from the binary. You have complete control over how orientation and identity impacts your game. And this mod helps bring nuance to your Sims and their stories. And it's not all peaches and cream either. There are some negative things that you can do with this mod. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but for right now, let's go over the global settings of this mod. The global settings is where you will decide everything about this mod and how it impacts your game. Like if your Sims can experience self-discovery, have unexpected crushes, and if the mod is allowed to auto-assign certain settings, such as gender, sexuality, orientation, and all of that to NPCs or played Sims or both. You can also decide on things like coming out systems, and something that I think is kind of fun and adds realism to the game. This is optional, you don't have to do this, but you can actually make it so that there are some Sims in your save file that are homophobic. Again, this is not for everybody. You don't have to do this, but it is fun. There is a setting that says allow negativity/phobia. If on, Sims might have negative or phobic reactions when hearing about LGBTQIA plus gender identities, orientations, and etc. Now let's get into the modules, and we'll start with the first one, gender identity, affirmation, and transition. Gender identities. You can choose if your Sim is male, female, transgender, or cisgender, of course, non-binary, agender, gender fluid, or questioning. Let's say you have a Sim who's questioning their identity, and perhaps they think that they might be transgender. This mod gives you the ability for your Sim to experience a whole journey when it comes to figuring out who they are. As an example, I'm going to be bringing back a Sim from the dead to show you guys how this works. My beloved Tate Harris from the Legacy Challenge. Oh, my baby Tate. If you do not know who Tate Harris is, she was a part of my Sims 4 Legacy Challenge and good friends with my current matriarch, Autumn Kialoha, and unfortunately, before she was able to fully transition, she froze to death and died like a dumbass, so I thought it'd be fun to bring her back for this. Let's take a look at what Tate's transition could have looked like if she managed to live. Due to the adjustments we've made in the global settings, Tate is now experiencing gender dysphoria and is really wondering now if they truly identify with the sex they were assigned at birth. There is actually an option for your Sims to begin pondering their orientation, identity, or both. Once your Sim is done pondering, they're going to get this little pop-up with the option of manually selecting or letting fate decide what the next step in their journey is. For this example, for Tate, I'm going to press manual selection and they will be selected as transgender. And once that's over with, we can now decide what the next step is for Tate and her transition. With this mod, your Sim's able to pick from medical and non-medical options for transitioning. Some of the non-medical options include deciding on a more affirming pronouns, deciding on a new name, dressing differently, going to walk style training, and going to voice and speech feminization therapy or masculization. And for our medical options, we can have Tate have bottom surgery and top surgery and start hormonal therapy. And of course, all of these options have huge impacts on your gameplay and come with custom moodlets. Tate is already looking so much happier after her top surgery. With this also comes the option of coming out and telling others about Tate's gender transition. Now, going back to what I said earlier about how you can make phobic sims, this is where that comes into play, because if you have adjusted that setting and turned it on, it would be possible for your transgender sim to receive negative responses from people they come out to. If the unfortunate occurrence happens where your sim is getting a negative reaction from the person they're coming out to, you can even go as far as asking for acceptance from them. I really do appreciate the option for realism with this mod, because this really does reflect what a lot of people go through in their day-to-day lives. Some people lose their entire families, their homes, and even their lives to it. And though times are very trying right now, with the rise of conservatism, especially the big sudden shift here in America, this is your reminder to keep going. Despite what that orange fuck in the Oval Office says, or despite all the new anti-DEI mods that are appearing in this community, we still have a lot to celebrate. We have come a very long way as a community. Let's not let anybody take that from us, including our pixels. I will never understand how you could be phobic while playing The Sims, one of the most inclusive games of all time. Being homophobic, transphobic, or queerphobic and playing The Sims is just like being a woman who voted for Trump. Nonsensical. Your sim can also publicly come out on social media, and they'll even get text messages sometimes of sims telling them how proud they are. If only Tate hadn't died and we could finally see her live out as her true self. Rest in peace, Tate. We're moving on to the next module. Let's talk about orientations, both romantic and sexual. Just like we could do with gender identity affirmation and transition, your sims are able to ponder what their sexuality might be, and you can either manually come to a conclusion or let fate decide for them. Here's my sim self, Nikki St. Germain. Let's go ahead and pick her gender and sexual and romantic orientations. So I identify as a bisexual cisgender woman who can experience both romantic and sexual attraction. So after we go into our orientation pie menu, we can click make quick assignments for Nikki. And I'm just gonna go up here to where it says change orientation and identity. Here are all of our options. We have cisgender, transgender, non-binary, gender fluid, agender, questioning, or not applicable. I'm gonna go with female cisgender. We then have romantic attraction, and we have allo-romantic. Nikki can experience romantic attraction. Gray romantic, Nikki does not typically experience romantic attraction, but might in some circumstances. Demi-romantic, Nikki can experience romantic attraction only to sims with whom she has a deep emotional connection with. And aromantic, Nikki does not experience romantic attraction towards any sims. I think allo-romantic aligns with me the best. Romantic attraction, once again, usually who could Nikki feel romantically attracted to? We have the options for romantically attracted to feminine sims, romantically attracted to masculine sims, biromantic, panromantic, and questioning. I'm gonna go with biromantic. Nikki can be romantically attracted to multiple genders. Moving on to sexual attraction, how does Nikki experience sexual attraction? Allosexual, Nikki can experience sexual attraction. Gray sexual, Nikki does not typically experience sexual attraction, but might in some circumstances. Demisexual, Nikki can experience sexual attraction only to sims with whom she has a deep emotional connection. And asexual, Nikki does not experience sexual attraction towards any sim. I align with allosexual the best. And the last one for sexual attraction, usually who could Nikki feel sexually attracted to? And I'm going to go with bisexual. And lastly, we have our status, which I think is a really cute detail. Nikki can decide if she's in the closet. Nikki has never come out to any family member or partner. Discreetly out, Nikki has come out in at least some of her private circle, but remains very private and discreet in the public realms. Out, Nikki is out privately and publicly. And proud advocate, Nikki is out privately and publicly and is a proud advocate for the LGBTQIA+ community. I will definitely go with proud advocate, as I am out publicly, privately, and I would say I'm a big advocate for the LGBTQ community. And once you are done with deciding your sim's gender, romantic, and sexual orientations, they will then appear as reward traits in your sim's traits panel. But before moving on to the next module, consider leaving a like on this video and subscribing to my channel. Your love and support helps me continue doing this. And if you'd like to support this channel a little bit further, consider using my code solitasims at checkout on the EA app or the Sims 4 official website when purchasing any Sims 4 DLC, and subscribing to my Patreon where I post exclusive and early access content. Thank you so much for all of my patrons. Finding out about ace arrow spectrum alignment. Perhaps your sim is realizing they don't experience any romantic or sexual attraction. Perhaps they are on the ace arrow spectrum. Sims who have this discovery will get the occasional moodlets and or notifications when engaging in relevant romance and or physical intimacy. And to figure out exactly what aligns with their experience, they are able to research asexual and aromantic spectrums on the computer. And of course, you can either let fate decide on this or manually pick it yourself. Now, the next module is available with this mod. However, it is still being developed, and that is is queer platonic relationships. Aromantics can get together in queer platonic relationships. All you have to do is offer the other sim to be queer platonic partners. There's a metric associated with these types of relationships, but as of right now, it really doesn't do much other than tell you the state of the relationship. And of course, there are custom moodlets that come with this. And lastly, the LGBTQIA plus hangout lot trait. This mod comes with a lot trait called LGBTQI plus hangout that automatically turns your lot into a pride hotspot. For example, if you use this lot trait on a bar, there are special nights with different crowds. Mondays from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. is Aro Ace night. Tuesdays 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. is Women Loving Women night. And Wednesdays from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. is Men Loving Men night. And Thursdays 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. is Gender Nonconforming night. Such a fun thing. I absolutely love this aspect of the mod. It is so fun to be able to apply this to your lots, and is a much more easier and convenient way for your sims to find a new romance and to meet new LGBTQ friends. Now, this mod is not complete. Lumpinou has many more visions for this mod. Two of the things listed on their website that is upcoming with this mod is integrating more social interactions and cultural attitudes toward woohoo and romance. I'm super excited to see what Lumpinou comes up with because this mod is amazing, and I hope after watching this video you think the same thing. And if you want to read all the details regarding this mod, you can go directly to Lumpinou's website, or you can click the link in the description of this video. And if you need any help learning how to install this mod in your game, you can click in the upper right corner of this video right now to watch my in-depth modding tutorial. And another thing before you click off of this video, did you see the various baby tees that my sim self Nikki was wearing and the adorable and sometimes out-of-pocket sayings they had on them? If you're interested in downloading these recolors and adding them to your game, they are available right now on my Patreon, Solitasims, for all free and paid members. This is my first ever recolor, guys. I want to do something really fun for Pride, and what better way than making these baby tees? Let me know if you guys love them, and feel free to tag me if you use them. And that, my girls and gays, is Lumpinou's LGBTQ mod. Thank you guys so much for watching this mod showcase. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And with that ends this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy Pride Month. Bye.